Hello, welcome to the series of videos on conscientious cuisine. My name is Colin Strang. I've been involved in the food and beverage industry in various roles over the past 20 years. And today I'll be exploring the subject of conscientious cuisine together with my colleague from Infor, Zoran Savilla. Recently, the US Environmental Protection Agency defined environmental sustainability as meeting today's needs without compromising the ability of future generations to meet theirs. It is about taking action to protect our shared environment, air, water, land, and ecosystems in ways that are economically viable, beneficial to human health and well-being, and socially just in the long term. As far as the food and beverage industry is concerned, this has raised questions as how best to meet the needs of a growing population whilst maintaining a socially sustainable and ethically sourced supply of food basics. Modern thinking promotes animal welfare, environmental packaging, for example, as well as minimization of waste, either in the production process or in the end products. A sad fact of today's F&B industry is that food wastage is at an all-time high. About 1/3 of the production of food is wasted or thrown away. So why is it that when much of the world is short of food, millions of tons of food are literally thrown away or allowed to expire? There is also a growing push amongst consumers and governments to pursue the concept of environmental sustainability and governance, or ESG for short, in the production and distribution of food primarily. Forward-looking companies are realizing actually that ESG contributes to the overall value of their company. It's not simply a matter of regulatory compliance. For companies in the industry, this presents challenges across the supply chain as well as in regulatory compliance and reporting. So how can technology assist in achieving ESG goals whilst maintaining a healthy bottom line? Food safety too has come into sharp focus in recent years. Food safety encompasses major areas such as consumer preference, climate change, wastage, packaging, healthier eating options, and traceability from paddock to plate, as well as regulatory restrictions. Why are these important? Well, for example, in terms of environmental impact, Forbes magazine recently published an article that suggests that up to 12% of greenhouse gas emissions come from agriculture. And one way that the food and beverage industry is reacting to this is by developing foodstuffs that reduce these emissions. Consumers too are demanding healthier options from suppliers. This has been particularly noticeable in the fast food industry, which has been forced over recent years to offer a wider variety of healthy eating options. This in turn has led to pressure to bring to market more new products in a shorter time frame. Later in this series, we'll talk further about how product lifecycle management, or PLM, can assist in making this happen and happen quickly. In terms of environmental sustainability, according to EcoVadis, a US research company, up to 55% of food and beverage leaders reported a substantial increase in spending on sustainability. This compares well with other industries actually, and the pressure from consumers, investors, and stakeholders is demanding better. An IDC survey recently of 305 business leaders found that ESG drivers have become more linked to business value than just simply compliance. The top 4 drivers were things like cost savings, brand and trust at 35%, product innovation at 34%, and customer demand at 33%. So, how can technology help? Well, when thinking about how to address these issues, there are 3 concepts which are very important. These are transparency, collaboration, and of course, cost. From a transparency point of view, from a consumer's point of view, it's important that they trust the supplier to deliver on their promises on ESG. To deliver this requires a modern ERP which can track and trace every single stage of the product lifecycle. More importantly, can produce reports which back up these credentials. This engenders trust and brand trust. This also holds true from a regulatory standpoint, apart from anything else. In terms of collaboration, in order to achieve a good ESG score, it's important that more than ever to be able to work with suppliers in a given supply chain. to guarantee both quality of your own products and also of the quality and sustainable of the raw materials used. This requires a level of trust which can only be satisfied by a unified view of the entire supply chain. One of the ways in which technology can help here is through the use of cloud computing across an entire supply chain, where all inputs are visible in a single place. A typical example of this is a unified graphical lot tracker, where inputs at various stages of a supply chain from separate parties are brought together to offer a unified view, and this view is auditable from field to fork. The third point of cost: there is little point in an ESG process unless it can deliver at a profit. Visibility of cost at various stages of a supply chain is key to delivering an end product that is profitable. Modern ERPs are excellent at both tracking cost as well as reporting by exception whether there have been cost overruns and wastage in the overall process. Proactive alerts enable companies to identify issues at an early stage and apply fixes using, for example, artificial intelligence. So join me later on as I talk to Zoran Silvilja, and we'll explore some of these options in more detail.